Hey YouTube, today I'll take another simple sketch and turn it into a pair of simple gears, and we'll have it ready to go to the printer within 15 minutes. Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Will. I'm a 65-year-old man learning Fusion 360 so I can create my own files that I can sell on Amazon as a print-on-demand item. So as I've been learning Fusion, I keep bringing it to the next level, and the other day I had printed out this lovely little spool roller, and I said, wow, look at those gears. I want to do that. And come to find out, inside of Fusion there is a tool that is very simple to use to create just gears, and we're going to do one and have it ready for the printer in just 15 minutes. So let's go over to the drafting table and we'll make a quick drawing of what we're going to do, and we'll move it over to Fusion. Let's go. So to help you visualize it, we'll go ahead and jot down basically what we're going to do in Fusion. I'm going to have two circles. One's going to be twice as big as the other, the biggest one being 50 millimeters. And we're going to shoot for 25 millimeters for the other one, but the number of teeth will determine the size of that gear. So our hole size for our shaft or our axle is going to be 10 millimeters. And then the thickness of our gears, I'm going to have mine at 8 millimeters, but you're welcome to make them whatever you want. Also, I need something to be able to turn my gear, so I'm going to create a little handle off of it. And I'll determine that size when I get to it. And then it's going to have a base plate, and I think I'll have it at 5 millimeters, and that's good to go. Alright, so let's get started. I want to make sure everybody's on the same page as I am. We're going to reach up here with the Solids tab highlighted and to the Create tab and drop down. And right about here is where you normally see your spur gear tool. I don't have it here, and generally that is the case. Every time I come into the program I have to load it in. So I look at it as it's in my utilities tab or utility closet. I keep all my tools in. So I'm going to clip over here to utilities, and then I'll move over to the add-ins because I'm going to add it into my toolbox. I want to hit that drop down. It's going to give me scripts and add-ons. And you'll see here that there are two of them, the spur gear tools. From experience, when I click the first one, it doesn't really put it in my box, and I don't know why, but every time I hit the second one it does. And as soon as you click on it, it will take you back to your sketch plane. So I'm going to click my second one, and it says here that it has been loaded, and it's in my Create panel under the Solids tab. So I'm going to go to Solids and then Create, and now you can see that it's in there. So now let's get started. Let me start my timer. Now remember, you can always pause. If it's not in there, just go back through it again and click the other one, and it should show up at that time. Right, so now I'm ready to go ahead and do my sketch. So I'm going to create one, and it's going to ask me which plane do I want to do my sketch on. I always use this one. You can use any of them, I would imagine. First thing I'm going to do is make a circle. We're going to do our first big gear first. So we're going to do the 50 millimeter gear, and we're either going to reduce it by half or a little less than half. You can click the circle button here, or you can hit C, and that'll do the same thing. I'm going to set it from the center origin, and as soon as you just let go of your mouse, you can just pull back on the circle, and it'll be whatever you want it to be, but you can just type it in. And in this case, we determined we were going to make the large gear 50 millimeters. And then I'm going to finish my sketch, which is up on the right. Every time you do something, you finish your sketch. Now, you can do multiple sketches and then finish them, but I find it less complicated to get through something like this where you're just wanting to grab a grasp of how to make a gear. So I'm going to pop me on the top here. My next thing is to go ahead and create the gear. We have a 50 millimeter circle sitting on our plane. So now we're going in our solids. We're going to drop down the create and open the spur gear tool. So a quick breakdown of our fields here. Standard metric. I use metric. You can go English if you want, if that's what you normally do. Your pressure angle. Your pressure angle is the tilt of the teeth, and 20% is the common and the stronger choice for 3D printing. Your module is the size of the gear. Now I'm going to go ahead and you don't do this, but I'm just going to leave it at the 12 just to show you what it with 24 teeth, how big the gear is. So it's way oversized. Yeah. So there you go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go back, and then I can pull forward back on this and catch up with you. Create gear. So I'm going to reduce this down to 2. I found that through experimenting and trial and error. That's what I came up with. That you do have to change the root fillet radius to be below 1.18, which is this right here. It's set at 2 right now, and that's this area right here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go down to 2. And then 24 teeth, I'm going to leave it with that. Your backlash, you don't have to worry, because we're going to remove the gear from the center of the gear that we're making here, and we're going to put it where we think we want the axle to be. Your numbers are going to be different from mine because your placement may vary different from mine. So no backlash. The root filler radius is, like I said, you have to make it below 1.18. So I'm just going to make it 1. And then the thickness of our gear, how thick it is 10 millimeters. I'm not going to worry about it. The thickness of our gear is set at 10 millimeters, but we were going to make it at 8 to save time. And then the pitch diameter you can't change. So we're ready to make our gear. So let's go ahead and hit OK. And there's our gear. It is a little bit bigger than our 50 millimeter, but I'm not trying to get it to fit into anything, so it shouldn't matter. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and create the smaller gear. It creates the gear inside of the gear so you can see the perspective of size. So go down here and we're going to open up our gear box again, our gear toolbox, and we're not going to change anything except the number of teeth. So if you wanted to reduce it by half, it would be a 12, but that's going to be a little bit smaller. I want a little bit beefier gear than half, so I want it to be in this area here. So I'm going to go up to 16 teeth, and then I'm going to hit OK. And that's about what I wanted. So like I said, that gear is inside of the other one, but it doesn't matter because it's just, I don't know what it is, why it does it like this, but it seems to be, once you understand what it's doing and how it does it, then it's just part of the tool. At this time I am going to go ahead and remove it from the other gear, and I'm going to go to my left hand top into the file area and go down to Spur Gear 16 tooth, and that is that one. So every time you hover over it, you can see each body as it changes. I'm going to right mouse click it, and then I'm going to hit move and copy, and then you grab the box and you can move that out. And that, while you're still moving it, we want to go ahead and try to place it someplace where we can see how close we get. to it. Like I said, this is where we were not going to add the backlash because I want a little more space and I want to be able to see it. As I get further and further into Fusion, I'm sure I won't do it this way. But as trying to be as easy as I can, I like that right there. Gives me a little bit of room. So I'm trying to be as easy through this as I can for a beginner. I've only been doing this for, like I said, 2 months, and I don't get a lot of time into it, maybe 4 hours a week. Some weeks I don't get anything into it. But every time I get in here, I learn something new. Now that my gear's set, I'm going to go ahead and just hit enter. So now we have our 2 gears and they're set and ready to go. And now we need to build the base that this is going to sit on. Oh yeah, nice. All right, so now we're going to create a new sketch right here on top of the plane that we already have. This pops up when you do it, and what it is asking you if you want to revert back to the previous position, which was it being inside of it, or do you want to keep it where it is and capture the position. And of course I'm capturing this position. All right, so now we're ready to create our rectangle. So I'm going to go off the top of here, and it doesn't matter where you put it. I'm just going to start there, and I'm going to go just like that one. Right, so there, and we're going to finish our sketch because we're done here. This is our base area. Like I said, it's just a sketch on the plane. Finish my sketch, and now I want to extrude that. You hit your extrude button or your E key, and then touch it, and we're going to pull it up to 5 millimeters. You hit enter. So now we have the build plate for the gears. So this is a little bit tight, so you may have to do this a couple times, but if I do it correctly and explain it, you may not have to. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch on top of our build plate. And then I'm going to put a circle where I think that this is center of this axle is going to be. This is going to be the center right there. And then what I'm doing here is I'm going to build up a small area so the gear doesn't completely lay flat on the build plate and create more drag. So we're just going to create like a washer between the two. And since the center of the axle is 10 millimeters, I'm just going to go another 10 millimeters outside of that. So we're going to make this one 20 millimeters. And now I'm going to finish my sketch. And now I want to create this axle, but I need to have it the same distance from here to here. So we're going to create a sketch, and I'm going to click the plane, and now I can use my dimension tool. You can hit the D key, or you can click the button here, and we're going to hit the center of our main gear first, and then we're going to the other gear center and click, and when you pull off of that, that gives us our distance number. Now your number is probably different from my number, and that is because your placement is a little different from my placement of the two gears. So what you do is you just write down your number. Mine is a 4767. Alright, so we know our distance between the two gears. We can hit escape. So we have our number. Now we're ready to add in our other axle. We'll go ahead and create a sketch, and then we'll pick on the base pad, and then we'll hit circle, and we'll just pick a point left mouse click, and then it'll open it up. I'll type in 20 and hit enter. Finish sketch. So now we have our two risers, so we're going to go ahead and extrude those. And then I'll hit shift and click the other one. And I'm going to raise this up 1.5 millimeters and hit enter. And that gives me that. Now we're ready to go ahead and make our axles for the gears. Our hole is 10 millimeters. So we don't want really a 10 millimeter axle. You want one a little bit smaller. So we're going to go ahead and create a sketch and grab our circle, set it in the center, and then instead of, like I said, instead of 10, I'm going to go a 9.7, and I'll hit enter. And then I grab another circle and 9.7 here. And then I'm going to finish my sketch. And now I'm ready to extrude. And I'm going to pull it up. We can always take it down, so let's just pull it up to 12 millimeters, and yeah, that looks good. All right, so what I would like to do is put some type of handle on this big gear. So we're going to create another sketch right on top of the gear itself, and I'll grab a circle, place my center point, and let's just make it 10 millimeters and finish sketch. Now we can go to extrude. Click on the space. I'm going to pull it up to 10 millimeters. And that's that. Not bad. Where are we at on time? Ooh, I still only got 3 minutes left, so let's see what we can do here. One thing we really need to do is move our gear so we can 3D print it, because we don't want to try to print it like that. So I'm going to hover back over to the 16 tooth gear and right mouse click on it and move, grabbing the block. I'll just pull it out a little bit, that way it can be 3D printed easily. And then we'll hit enter, and now we're ready for 3D print. Now you could go just like this, send it, boom, we're done. All right, you can be printing right now if that's what you want to do. But if you want to make it a little prettier, we can do that too. We want it to run a little bit smoother. So it's little things like we're going to add some fillets. We'll go ahead and trim these edges right quick. So let's go in, and I'm going to click on the corner, just that one little corner right there. You see it turns it blue. Now anything that you click on here, you can hold shift button, shift, then I can zoom back out. I can hold shift again and then hit the wheel button and still be able to move, and then come in and zoom in, hit shift, click that, and one more, shift, click that, go ahead and get to the front. So now we're going to click the fillet, and we can just grab it and just make it look like we want to do. We have to be careful with this gear area here, which is the smaller gear, and you want to have a little bit of room for the gear so it doesn't hang off. It's just a little large up here, but we can get rid of that, but we'll just go with that 25 millimeter, and we'll take a look at that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and just ease these corners here. So we'll go ahead and hit the F button, which is for fillet, and we'll click that top edge, and we'll make that 2. Let's see what a 3 looks like. 3 millimeter. Oop. Can you tell I'm new? Oh yeah, I like the 3s. Hit enter. We're going to grab the top of our axles also. So I'm going to grab that one and hit shift button and grab that one. And I'll go ahead and drop that down to a 2. Yeah, nice and round there. As our risers, I want to go ahead and grab that one and this one. And we'll put it as a 1. Nice. Same on the top of our handle. 2. Perfect. All right. Well, I think you guys have got a set of gears. So let's give it a print and see what it's going to look like and how well it works, right? So this one's mine. Where's yours? Okay, so let's go ahead and get this ready for our printer. So I'll go up to File and down to Export. And then I'm going to call this one YouTube Gears. I'm going to drop down menu and take it down to the bottom to get my STL file that I'm turning it into. And then I'm going to export. And I'm going to open a printer. And let's put it on there. Alright, so to save time, I'm going to reduce my size here down to like 80%. I'm going to do 75. And I'm going to slice it. It's going to take 36 minutes. And I'm going to send it to the printer. Well, that wasn't too bad. We were right inside of our time window. I've been about 38 minutes on the print, and let's see what it looks like. All right. I found that you got to kind of work them on a little bit and get it kind of loosened up a little bit, and of course the PLA is still hot, so it's expanded. Ooh, look at that, right on there. Look at that. Pull this other one off a little bit. Get that one worked on there. So I appreciate you sticking through the video with me on this. If you would, like and subscribe. That really helps our channel to grow. I won't keep us too much more on this, but I know on the next video I'm working on a in-depth user interface for the Elegoo, and we'll go into every screen so you can see what's in there versus what's you can't see on Bamboo. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. I don't know what I'm printing next, but I hope you're printing it with me. Thanks for sticking around. See ya.